Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you the hunting locations for 16 different animals in Far Cry 5. To get the Been There Done That trophy, you need to complete all of the hunting challenges. So I'm going to show you the 16 locations. I will, as a bonus, as part of my fishing guide video I already made, show you the maps of the fishing locations. I'll tack that on to the end of this video. But first, let's go find some deer. Deer you're going to see marked on the map here, but they're going to be really everywhere throughout the game. Now I'm using Boomer as a Fang for hire because Boomer will actually mark enemies as well as animals for you, so it makes things a little bit easier. Now I'm also using Jess because Jess and I are going to use bows. I'm going to hunt with bows because I feel like that's more authentic. That's the way I prefer to hunt. Now I'm going to hunt some pronghorns here. I will show you one location. There's several locations on the map of hunting locations, but here's one here. Now you can see I'm not anywhere close to it. They can be within maybe even a 200-meter radius of the hunting ground, so you might have to search them for a little bit. And there's one there. He's going to go run away from me, but I will track him down. Now, if you scour an area and you can't find anything, just quickly fast travel to a near location, and it'll respawn the population. So if you run out of animals to kill, you could just respawn into to a close area and go back to it. Now, you will need to skin multiple of each type of animal. I believe 2 elks you need. So we're going to go hunt an elk. Elk are big antlered enemies, or animals. They're not really enemies. But you can find an elk location, or there's a couple more on the map, but here is one hunting spot. They're big animals. Now using a bow is going to take a few more shots. But between myself, Jess, and Boomer, we will take them down without any guns. Alright, so now we're going to hunt the caribou. I'm going to go way up north on the map. Caribou look almost identical to elk. Not entirely sure what the differences are, but there's some caribou way up here. This guy's going to keep running away from me. He's already running away from me. Someone scared him already. But I am sending Boomer out there to help take him down. At the caribou, there's a couple spots, but most of them are on the northern part of the map, up in Jacob's region. He's getting way out there. Boomer's quick. He can get them pretty good. Caribou, there's far fewer caribou than anything. And again, they look like elk, so you can get really confused. There he is. All right, so next up is going to be bison. Bison, you're going to see a lot as well. There are a few specific hunting grounds, but they will be found in many other areas as well. One area is up here in the southern edge of Jacob's region in the middle. Now these guys are going to be predators. They will actually come and try to knock you over and kill you as well. So I don't have to worry about him running away. All right, so next up we got a moose. Moose you'll find as well in a lot of areas. They tend to walk along the roads quite a bit, but there is a moose hunting spot over here, just south of the marina. Now this is pretty funny. Check this out. I'm about to shoot this moose right here, and just as I shoot, watch what Jess does. Runs right out in front of me. Unfortunately, she got headshotted. That moose ended up getting away from me, but thankfully there was another one. Sometimes they'll travel in pairs, so I was able to get its bigger brother over here. Now next up, we're going to go from a really large animal to a really tiny animal, the hare. Hares are a little tricky because they're tiny and they run away really easily. They scare and they run real fast. They'll probably just outrun you. You'll have to let it go. And there's only a couple spots that they're located on the map as well. So I'm going to see one here. Boomer already spotted it for me. So I'm going to send Boomer out to go track him down as well as shoot him. Now, just as I'm about to shoot him, Boomer already scared him away. But thankfully, Boomer is going to take care of the kill for me, so I can just walk up to it and skin it. It's going to be in the bliss field here. So be careful of the hare. They're a little trickier, harder to find. But Boomer is definitely going to help you locate them. All right, so next up, we got the boar. Boar is another predator. They'll come and track you down. Thankfully, it doesn't take much to kill them. Find one here in the center of John's region. Took a shot from my bow, as well as I think one from Jess's bow to kill him. All right, so next up, skunks. Skunks are also little tiny animals. We're gonna have to kill a couple of these. When you find one, just be careful. Don't want it to hit you with its butt gas. Take a couple arrows here. All right, so next up, we got some Wolverines we're gonna have to find. Find some up here in John's region in the northwest corner, kind of up on the hill as it's going up. They are also aggressive predators as well. All right, so next up we got the wolf. Wolves, you don't really find the wolves. Wolves find you, as will often be the case. Probably run across several packs of these things as they go. There's usually more than one at a time, but here is a wolf hunting spot in case you want to go track one down yourself. Doesn't quite know I'm here, which is good for me. All right, so another animal that kind of behaves in the same manner as wolves are cougars. They're actually slightly even more aggressive. I believe you're going to have to skin 3 cougars, but there is a spot here in the northern part of John's region over by the pumpkin farm. As you can see, I'm about 150 meters or so away from the actual marked spot. Now, this is pretty funny. Came up to the cougar, killing some other random person in the world, and then it decided it was going to take off. But it'll stop, thankfully, because these things are quick. Again, much easier if you're using a gun, but I like the challenge of using a bow. Alright, so next up we got a black bear. Black bears, for some reason, you'll find a whole bunch of these all over the place when you're not looking for them, but when you are looking for them, they tend to be a little bit more tricky. But we're going to find one here again down in John's region in the northern part of it. There's a black bear there. Again, you'll see quite a few of these. Most of these animals you'll run across quite often. So if you're hunting these as you're playing through the game, completing these challenges aren't going to be too difficult. You kind of have to go out of the way for the fish. Again, I already made a fishing guide, so I will tack on the maps for that at the end of this video. But a grizzly bear, another one that you can never seem to find when you want one, but will always appear when you don't. This guy's going to take several arrows to kill him. We're gonna get a nice headshot in here in just a second. And it still doesn't kill him. There we go. We took him down.
Let me know if you find anything.
So next up, we got some turkeys. Turkeys, there's not a whole lot of spots on the map, but you will see them in many different areas. But as far as actually marked hunting locations on the map, not too many. But you'll find one by Ryan Sons Aviation. You can see it's just north of it. They'll also appear in and around the actual aviation farm, so you can find some down there as well. Again, once you've exhausted an area of its animals you can or can't find anything, you can just fast travel to a nearby location and then walk back to it, and you might be able to find it. So next up are the eagles. The eagles are actually pretty tricky because they fly, of course. So using a bow is a little bit more difficult, so you may want to use a gun, but there is a bald eagle spot right here. Sometimes there will be an eagle here, sometimes there's not. If you don't see anything, again, fast travel and come back to it. But there's also an easier way to get some eagles, and that's by doing the Nature Provides side quests. If you find Bo's in, by this cave right up here, Bo actually sends you to an eagle's nest that you're going to have to climb up to. You're going to do a lot of grappling up to a really high cliffside, and at the top of that, during this side quest, you're going to have to get some eagle eggs. You will also find a dozen eagles up here, and you can see the location here on the map. You'll start that back by the lake and then have to kind of climb up and around, grapple. Eventually you'll get up here as part of the quest. Once you're up here, there's a ton of eagles. Now I'm going to try shooting it here with the bow, because that's again what I was doing in this video, and managed to get a kill. Might be easier to use an assault rifle, but you can also use a bow, and you'll have to skin 3 eagles to complete that challenge. Now, as I mentioned, I already made a fishing guide. In that fishing guide, I showed you how to get all of the rods, all 4 rods, as well as how to beat the state records for each of the 12 different fish. So please check out that video. I'll put a link in the description if you want to know more information about the fish. Now, I will show you the fishing locations, just so you can, the hard locations at least, so you can at least catch a couple of each fish to complete the challenges. So here's a bull trout location. Again, it's on the hard There's a hard version and an easier version. The hard version, you're going to want the better rod. You're going to want to get the Fishing King perk. Here's a golden trout location. So you can get a normal version and a hard version. But the hard version, you're going to need to beat the state records. So there's kind of 2 trophies tied to it. And there was a lake trout. Here's a rainbow trout on hard. Trout you'll find in each of the regions. Sturgeons are going to be native only to John's region. There's 2 different types of sturgeon. There's a Pallid Sturgeon there, and there's a Paddlefish Sturgeon down south here. After that, we'll go up to Jacob's region. Jacob's region has salmon as their exclusive fish type. There's the Chinook Salmon here. Kokanee Salmon. And then finally, you got the Arctic Grayling Salmon. Now, Faith's region, she has the trout, of course, as well as bass. There's 3 different types of bass. The smallmouth bass here. Just north of here is going to be a largemouth bass. And not far from here, we're going to find a rock bass. Now, that'll be all the location of the fish, as well as I just showed you the 16 locations for hunting the wild animals. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please hit that like button and, of course, subscribe.